Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a real pleasure and honor for me to be here today. Over the weekend, we celebrated the International Day for Anti-Corruption, but it is one of those days that you really do not celebrate in a happy way, but it more serves as a reminder of the importance of these issues. And I want to thank you all for being here today and for the work that you've done so far. And I would indeed in particular want to thank Transparency International Turkey, Oya Hanım, the management, the members, and all of you who are here, the keynote speakers, for taking part in this important event. I do want to thank you once more for the work that you are carrying out in anti-corruption, transparency, and accountability issues, and for constantly increasing and deepening this work. And I think we've recently heard some examples of that. And one of the examples where the Swedish Consulate General were very happy and proud to participate was indeed the recent summer school. And this is, I think, just one example of how you are continuing your work. And we were very happy to learn of the huge and unexpected interest, more than 750 students who were interested. You were not able to address all of them, but I think this serves as an important basis for your continued work. This also shows, of course, the way you are expanding and growing your work into universities, youth clubs. Those are great examples and shows the increased demand and awareness of anti-corruption and transparency issues. But I do not need to tell you about anti-corruption, transparency, accountability, and why these issues matters. But it is still important that we remind ourselves of the costs of corruption for the economy and trade, for public resources, for the poor, and for the public institutions. And the real costs, the global costs, the money that is disappearing in corruption has been calculated to more than 5% of the global GDP. Okay, that would be something like $3.9 trillion US. I also came across another figure that said that the cost of corruption was 1.26 trillion US. Whether it is one of these two sums or not, it still shows that these are enormous amounts of money that are disappearing into corruption. And whether this money was destined for public spending or not, it is still shocking to think that this is money that could have otherwise been spent on improving education or healthcare in any country. So the Swedish government is very much concerned globally with tackling corruption and ensuring accountability, and considers that corruption and lack of transparency and accountability is hindering sustainable development and the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. And at the same time, it's clear that corruption exists everywhere in different forms in all countries. And let me just share the example of my own function as a Consul General here, which is a function I share with Consul Generals and ambassadors all over the world from Sweden. I am considered under Swedish legislation and EU legislation to be a politically exposed person, which means that my bank accounts will be particularly scrutinized for any suspicious-looking funds coming into that. And this is something that I am aware of and that I should be indeed proud of. Corruption may, and transparency may in part be tackled by policy and legislation, but most of it has to do with a change of mentality. And this is hard work. And again, I want to say that because it concerns all spheres of society, it is so important that Transparency International Turkey and all of you here present continue to carry this work forward. And this award ceremony is an important way to thank all of those individuals and organizations from different parts of society that continue their transparency and integrity work. And let me finish by saying that, and underlining that it is each one of us in our own line of work where we need to be aware and we need to ask questions, we need to be transparent, and we need to show integrity. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you a good continuation of your work. Thank you.